So the application that I used to make my game was GameMaker Studio 2. I used this application because I thought that it was the best application for me to show my simple coding skills and implement them to make a game that was supposed to solve an issue that is faced in the global society. So basically, this is the basic template of the game, and the main aim of the game is to get rid of all this negativity. Negativity being the objects that are so with neglect you're able to destroy the negativity. And yes, so this is just a basic template of the game that I made. So make this game, what I first did was made three major sprites. So the first sprite is the main object, the object which is you, and you're supposed to be able to flee from the negativity using the arrow keys. So that's the major object. Then this sprite represents the neglect, which is used to shoot away the enemy. And then this sprite represents the enemy that is coming towards you and is trying to kill you within the game. And as you can see, it's a representation of negativity, while this is a representation of neglect. So basically, this game was used for people who might have issues and like who would like to motivation for themselves. So it's a game that's supposed to motivate them to neglect all the negativity around in the world. So basically, to make my object move, first of all, I used if statements to carry out the basic movements of the object. So as you can see here, it says if keyboard check VK right, meaning that if the right button on the keyboard is pressed, then the object will move 3 steps to the right. The same applies for the left button. If keyboard check left is pressed, then the object will move 3 steps to the left. Obviously, because these are x coordinate movements, you have to use x is equals to x plus 3 and x is equals to x minus 3. For the upward and downward movements, it's the same concept. However, you must use the y coordinate because you're moving along the y-axis and not along the x-axis. Um, Thereafterwards, for the object to be able to like shoot out the objects, the neglect objects, this is just the first part of it. So if mouse button check button is equals to left, obviously if you left click on the mouse, then the neglect objects are shot out towards the enemy objects. So obviously this was a representation of how to like destroy the negativity around. So then we'll move on to the next sprite, which was the neglect. So basically what I did here was I just was able to manipulate the direction in which the neglect button, the neglect object would move once the left mouse button was pressed. So basically this is the direction in which the neglect button will move. The neglect object will move once the neglect mouse button is pressed, and this is the speed at which the object would move at once it's pressed. So it's going to be moving at a speed of 16 pixels per second. Then we move on to the enemy object. So basically this is just the movement of This is manipulating the movement of the enemy object towards um, the normal object, which is you, the first sprite that we made, which was you. So basically, if five of the objects are present now, they will all be moving towards um, you and trying to kill you. Once they touch you, um, with this if statement, basically means once this object touches your main object, then you will be destroyed, and then the game must restart, as seen through the preview, where every time that one of the objects touched the main object, the game restarted automatically. So basically, to represent this on the room, was able to, just one moment. So this is the basic preview of the game. So I had to copy the object and paste it here. So this is how the game starts, with the negativity all around the object trying to move towards it. So basically, this is where the objects will start moving towards the main object. This is just how the game is represented. So within this plane, you can add other backgrounds and different. You can even add more enemies and more objects to move around, so that you can be able to increase the gameplay. Um, and that's it basically. That's how my game works. And yep.